Well, let's return to this one. The mayor of the City of Johannesburg and some of her MMCs visiting the storm-damaged and affected areas after flash floods this week. The MMC for Human Settlements Cllr, Mlungisi Mabaso, also going out, and he went to Soweto after overnight rains triggered flash floods. MMC Mabaso joins me now. Good evening to you and welcome. So you were back in Soweto dealing with a similar situation as you did 3 weeks ago when hundreds of residents were displaced there. What did you observe this time?
Well, thank you very much. And please pardon my connectivity. I'm still in Soweto on site. Today we went back to Nanspeed Hostel, where we discovered that the people that were previously affected by floods got affected once again. But we were able to relocate 100 families out of the 217 families that were affected by floods last night. We also went to Ward 19 at Kliptown, where 44 families got affected as well. And there are interventions that we have put in place there. There is a community facility that we have obtained from an NGO. They have opened it for us, and we were able to relocate all the 44 affected families. But the contractor will be on site to prepare the stands where we will be permanently relocating those 44 families that have been affected at Kliptown. At Kliptown as well, at Ward 17, there are approximately 100 families that were also affected again. There is a community facility that have been opened where we are going to temporarily relocate those affected individuals while we are still assessing the damage and finding a permanent solution to the problem. At Protea South, Ward 10, there are more than 1,000 families that were affected. The disaster is still consolidating, but we are finding it very difficult to get an alternative accommodation currently because of the number of people that were affected. But we are still engaging with NGOs, with churches that are operating in the area, and we are still also engaging with the MMC for community development to open some of the public facilities so that at least we are able to house these affected families temporarily while we are dealing with the disaster that they experienced during the night.
Well, thanks for sharing that picture. And, the impact seems to be, and the effects seem to be quite widespread. When you talk about, upwards of 1,000 people collectively being affected by what's happened just in the past few days. I imagine then, MMC, that you would also want the help of the public. If people do want to get involved, volunteer, donate, how do they do that?
Well, through the disaster management and social development, we always welcome any form of assistance, and we call on all businesses, NGOs, to assist us, to lend a hand, whatever resource that they may have, will make a great impact on the ground. And we call on all of them to come out and really assist us. They can communicate with the disaster management, they can communicate with social development, and they can even engage with the ward councillors, in the areas where we experienced these disasters. So anyone that can lend a hand, that will be appreciated.
So, MMC, government. There's more wet weather predicted for the weekend. What contingency plans are being made right now?
Well, from our end, we have made facilities available. We have opened up public facilities where we are temporarily housing those affected households. But we are also finding a permanent solution, like in Kliptown, like I alluded earlier on. There are stands that will be packed tomorrow so that we move all those affected families out of that flood line. At Nanspeed Hostel, we are in the process of getting a permanent solution. The process is on the procurement stage, but we have temporarily housed them at the hall. At Protea South, there is a site that was identified long time ago that will yield 1,100 service stands, and we are in the process of finalizing the installation there. Then after that, we will permanently relocate all those that are situated on the flight line. So permanent solutions are there, temporary solutions are there, and we are preparing ourselves even for other disasters that may come.
Right.
The disaster management is on the ground. They have been deployed. We have also deployed our team. They are also on the ground. So, but we are asking our residents to be vigilant and to be cautious and to alert us immediately if they suspect anything, so that we are able to respond immediately.
Well, just before I let you go, let's talk about poor infrastructure, MMC, that prohibits drainage. This is obviously a factor in the compounding of the situation, the lack of upgrading. How is the city dealing with some of these problems that become exponentially worse when you have the damaging effects of extreme weather?
Well, we are battling with the infrastructure backlog, but the most contributing factor to these floods, it's rivers, and I think that's what we need to address, the management of these rivers, because Cllr River, becomes a serious problem for us, and there are things that we are unable to do with the river because it comes from the old mining dam, and Department of Minerals and Energy needs to come in and assist us, because we cannot do anything unless we are given rights by them to do excavation and to divert the flow of water. So the biggest challenge for us currently, as much as we have an infrastructure backlog.
All right, I think we've lost him there. As he said earlier, he was still conducting those site visits in Soweto. A lot of families tonight really without shelter, and you heard an appeal that's being made for charity and for anyone who can help to bring that help to the situation. MMC for Human Settlements, Councillor Mlungisi Mabaso.